Hey, everybody. I am back. Hopefully, you can't hear too much background noise because my AirPods decided to die on me today and I didn't have time to recharge it. But I am back. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Today, I'm running through the airport to catch yet another flight. But But I, of course, as I teach you all, that sometimes life gets really busy, really hectic, but we still have to take a pause, right? We still have to take a pause and make sure we're checking in with ourselves. So, this is your reminder today to make sure that you are checking in with your mental health because it's really important. So, first, before we get started today, if you're new to Mental Health Moment, again, we're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live. Normally, I'm not walking through an airport, but I am today on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Um, if you're new, Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. Okay, let's see if I can find a place. No, everything's crowded. Atlanta Airport, there's no quiet spaces here. So bear with me. Like I said, my AirPods died on me here, so I feel like you guys are going to hear a lot of background noise. But nonetheless, I'm going to share with you a couple of tips today before my flight boards here. Um, but again, let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. Um, I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And let me know again where you're tuning in from in the chat. Sorry, I cannot be there live with you all today. So this is obviously pre-recorded, but I should be back live, I believe, next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Um, so, yes, I just scanned and there's no place in this airport for me to sit to have a quiet space to talk to you all. So I will just be walking through the airport here. All good. Nonetheless, let me know in the chat first, how are you doing on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the chat. And again, if you're new to Mental Health Moment is a no judgment zone. So all good. If you're like at 0 and like just not feeling well at all in any area of your life, or maybe you're at a 10 and you're like, this is the best I'm ever doing. Life is good in so many areas of my life. It's amazing, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, let me know in the chat how you're doing. And then I'm going to share with you a couple of tips today. Okay, so hopefully you did that. And what I also love, since I'm not here live with you all today, is that you can always, and please do, because you guys, I see you guys do it a lot, like support one another in the chat, of course, right? So be sure to support one another, cheer each other on. And I would love to read your comments, of course, next week when I get back. But actually, a couple quick announcements. And again, I'm sorry I can't really put it in the chat, but I'll repeat it so that maybe someone else can write this in the chat. But there still is, I believe, there's a couple of days left. But this Friday, I will be speaking, what is that, July 24th? I will be speaking at the Gathering 2026, which is in Tampa Bay. If you're going to be in the area, you can register for that at WAF, as in Frank, international.org. WAF international.org. So I will be there. There's a ton of amazing experts, spiritual leaders, community leaders. It's going to be a really great event. So I'm looking forward to being a part of it, and I would love to see you there. I'm also speaking on August. So much going on in the airport, y'all. Oh, so much going on. Anyhow, on August 8th in Troy, Michigan, which is near Detroit, I will be speaking at an event called the Leadership Experience Tour. So that link is a little bit longer. What I'll do afterwards is I'll put the link into the body of this message on social. If you'd love to register, there are some in-person tickets, but a lot of people, of course, I know you all live all over, so So there's also virtual tickets as well. But I'd love to see you that as well. Okay, a couple quick tips, and then let's see what time it is. And then my flight's boarding in like a couple minutes here. Number one, and if you're just tuning in, by the way, as you see, I'm walking through an airport today. So I'm just giving you a couple quick tips though, because this is how I always tell you all, no matter how busy that you get, make sure you're checking in with your mental health, right? So, number one, make sure that you pause before you rush. And what I mean by that is, even if you can take a minute, you know that I always preach to you all the value and importance of taking a minute. So even if you only have 60 seconds, make sure that you are taking deep breaths and asking yourself, what do I need right now? Right? Especially before you have important decisions to make. We don't have to be rushing through life. We don't have to be rushing through important decisions. But instead, we could be pausing 60 seconds, like I said, taking a deep breath, and then really asking yourself, what is it that I need most right now? Right? Because again, depending on what is going on in your life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, or mentally, the answer is going to vary. But be sure you're doing that. The second tip I want to remind you of today is that please give yourself permission to be imperfect, right? So again, always, okay, probably hear the piano in the background. Love this. This is like a entertaining mental health moment today. Has to be like one of the busiest airports, by the way, you all. I'm sure many of you have been into Atlanta Airport. One of the busiest airports in the country, and here we are, doing mental health moment. But it's all good. I wanted to make sure I at least hopped on for a little bit for you all today. But again, tip number 2, to make sure to remember that you are allowed to be imperfect. So whatever that is going on in your life, you still owe it to yourself to make sure you're doing your mental health check-ins. Make sure you're living life imperfectly and understanding that there's always learning lessons, but that you don't have to beat yourself up, right, if things are not perfect. And before I continue, I want to ask you to put in the chat, when you really think about right now, before I give you the third and final tip, when you really think about right now, what is it that you are doing for yourself to take care of yourself that is working for you? Okay, so put that in the chat, because what tends to happen is you share what's working for you, and again, the next person watching may be like, oh, let me try that. It's not a guarantee it's going to work for them, but it might. Then it might give them a great idea. So again, in the chat, put in what is it right now that is working well for you when it comes to you taking care of yourself, when it comes to your self-care. Okay, so put that in the chat. And then I'm going to give you the third and final tip, and then I'm going to go catch my flight. What time is it? Okay, let me see. Okay, let me turn around. My flight's this way, y'all. But I was trying to get away from the crowd, and I just ran into more people, of course. There's no getting away from the crowd here. Okay, anyhow, so the third and final tip is to be sure on this journey, right? And we're talking about today, if you're just checking in, we're talking about checking in with your mental health. And the thing that, it just doesn't solve all your problems, but the thing that can be really, really helpful for you to do is to really think about finding one thing in your day to be grateful for. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the major things only, right? We don't only have to celebrate the major, big things in our lives, because what if someone helped you in some way today? What if someone checked in with you? What if someone, what if someone picked up the phone to call you that you hadn't heard from in a long time, or text you, or, right? Well, whatever it was. Or what if you really just sat and enjoyed a cup of tea or coffee? Or you took that minute that I always talk about. What is it that you're grateful for, right? One thing, just really focusing on one thing sometimes to be grateful for. It's a great way to reset yourself, right? Because again, life is just going to throw so many curveballs. We know them. But you always have an opportunity to think about how to reset yourself, to think about how to really make sure you're still prioritizing your mental health and wellness, right? So again, think about that. Maybe you even, a lot of times what I found in my journey, my own journey, right? I'm talking to so many people, going to so many places, and learning so many stories is that we do not give ourselves enough credit for the resilience that we have. So maybe you recently have gone through something that was so difficult, so hard, you didn't know how you were going to get through, but you did, right? If that's the case, I hope that you celebrate that in some way that's meaningful for you, because we don't do that enough and we don't give ourselves enough credit. Okay, so make sure you do that. Okay, so if you're just tuning in and you're like, what in the world is going on? And where's this lady at? Well, I have to catch a flight, so I cannot be live today. So I'm pre-recording this. All right, we're team no excuses over here. A mental health moment. So I'm pre-recording this today for you all because I didn't want to miss you all. And also, just as I always say, no matter how busy life gets, we all deserve to reset. We all deserve to continue to check in with ourselves. So I'm checking in with you all, right? To see how you all are doing. But nonetheless, I'm going to do my best to be back here live with you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.